Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a seriously powerful framework from our source material, and it addresses one of the absolute most urgent crises of our time. We live in an era where, let's face it, everyone is overwhelmed, overtired, and just constantly distracted. But what if I told you that overcoming these modern digital distractions doesn't actually start with deleting all your apps? It starts by conquering your own mind. So we're going to explore the internal battles we face every single day, the actual root cause of our laziness, and exactly how to master the ultimate weapon: discipline.
Now, there is a pretty stark truth about our 21st century dilemma. Every single application, every billboard on the street corner, and every little notification is desperately fighting for a piece of your attention. I mean, they're literally pulling at us. Think about it. You sit down to work on a presentation or a big project, and suddenly your phone goes bing, bing, pick me up, I need your attention, right? And look, this isn't an accident. Apps are heavily designed to do exactly this. And this addiction to distraction, it's a fatal blow to your ability to create, to produce, and ultimately to build a meaningful life.
The death of productivity, the 21st century dilemma.
This constant barrage of distractions has totally rewired our behavior. It's actually reached a point where true, deep focus is almost a lost art. Even if you sit down in a classroom today, you'll see restless youth constantly shaking their legs, clicking their pens, tick, tick, tick. There's just this deep underlying restlessness everywhere. The peace, the tranquility, and the dignity of simply being focused, it's practically vanished. Now, think about the example of the Army officer father mentioned in our source material. He works like a clock. He sleeps at the exact same time every single day, wakes up at the exact same time, and his routine is just incredibly consistent. Past generations had this mentorship, right? A lifestyle that taught strict discipline. But compare that to today's youth. Thanks to social media and phones constantly going bing, bing, routines are absolutely destroyed. We have no set time to sleep, no set time to wake up, and honestly, almost zero ability to hold focus.
Section 2. The real cause of laziness. Why we want to lag.
So it's super easy to just blame our phones, right? But there is a fundamental human nature at play here too. This part of our ego, often referred to as the nafs in our source, it naturally wants to rebel against hard work. We want to lag. We naturally want days filled with lethargy, to just be a bit lazy, to stray off the track. Honestly, nobody naturally wants to live a life of strict discipline. But here is a massive paradigm shift for you. People are not lazy. Their goals are just too low. Actually, scratch that. It's more like laziness isn't an inherent personality trait at all. It's a verb. It's something you actively do because your life lacks massive visions. When you only have tiny, insignificant tasks to complete, well, of course it makes you lethargic. But when massive goals and huge visions enter your life, they physically will not let you sit still. You transform into someone who absolutely loves Mondays and hates Saturdays because you are just so driven to work.
Think about the modern impatience that always comes with having small goals. People take a brand new course and literally their very first question is, so how long does it take to finish? They get a job and immediately ask, when do I get a raise? They start a business and just want to know exactly when they'll be rich. It's this restless pursuit of instant gratification without actually wanting to put in the struggle. Now contrast that with having big visions. When you set massive life goals, you actually embrace the struggle because you know the goal is worth the pain. You shift completely from a passive, lazy state into this unstoppable drive fueled by really high active energy.
Section 3. The formula for consistency and success. Escaping the Persian kitten lifestyle.
Okay, so we know the problem and we know we need big goals, but how do we actually build the consistency required to reach them? Well, first, we have to escape what the source hilariously calls the Persian kitten lifestyle. A Persian kitten sleeps, 12 to 18 hours a day, but when they're awake, they are hyperactive. The speaker in our source material actually admits that in their past, they lived exactly like this. They slept entirely too much, but when they were out, they were the life of the party, full of these immense but very brief bursts of energy. But here's the thing. Working intensely from dawn to dusk for just one random day, or having a crazy burst of hyperproductivity once a month, that does not shape your life. In fact, it's terrible for building solid life habits.
To counter this Persian kitten lifestyle, the source highlights a truly fantastic quote from entrepreneur and author Jim Rohn. He says, "Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals." And he hits the nail right on the head. Success isn't about massive, one-off heroic efforts. Not at all. It is deeply rooted in small, sometimes incredibly boring, daily routines that you just apply over and over again. Based on author Tony Robbins' framework mentioned in the source, this whole thing builds through a beautifully simple sequence. Step 1 is consistency. Doing something small like, say, turning on your lamp and reading just one single page of a book every single night. Step 2. That consistency builds a habit. Eventually, if you don't read that one page, you actually feel like something is missing from your day. Step 3. Habits form our daily actions. And finally, Step 4. Those everyday actions inevitably lead to success. It's never what we do just once in a while that shapes our lives. It is absolutely what we do consistently.
Section 4. What is discipline? The ultimate weapon.
So we have the formula for success. But what is the actual fuel that makes this engine run when we're tired or distracted or just completely unmotivated? I want to pause for a quick second and pose this exact question directly to you, just like the speaker challenged their live audience in the source material. What is the true definition of discipline? Is it being punctual? Is it being super organized? Is it just a specific way to live your life? Really think about it for a second.
Well, here is the defining answer from the source. Discipline is doing any task or work whether you like it or not. This is literally the climax of this explainer. This is the harsh, bitter pill we all have to swallow. Conquering the nuffs, conquering your ego and your internal desires simply means pushing yourself to do the actual work regardless of your feelings in that specific moment.
Let's walk through some specific, highly relatable examples from the source material to see exactly what this brutal level of discipline looks like in everyday practice. Your heart doesn't want to read a book right now because you're exhausted, but you do it anyway. You really don't want to wake up in the freezing cold for the morning tahajjud prayer, even though you've done it for the last 10 days straight, but you do it anyway. You don't want to get up and serve your parents because you just want to rest on the couch, but you do it anyway. You lower your gaze despite temptation. Guys, if you can do these things whether you like it or not, you are practicing true discipline.
Section 5. Small actions, big success. The final matchup.
We are rounding out our explainer now, and I really want to make sure you see the ultimate payoff of swallowing this bitter pill of discipline. Why put ourselves through this kind of discomfort? Make it crystal clear in your mind. The person who relies on hard work and discipline, even if they have way less natural talent, will absolutely beat the person who relies entirely on raw talent but completely lacks consistency. Consistency beats raw talent any single day of the week, no question.
And here is the beautiful paradox of the whole shebang. If you become uncomfortable, you will love to be comfortable. When you finally decide to push through that initial pain of consistency, when you swallow the bitter pill and do the work you really don't want to do, a crazy shift happens. You actually start to love the discomfort. Why? Because you begin to see the immense rewards, the real progress, and the undeniable success it brings into your life. You realize that conquering yourself is the skeleton key to achieving literally anything you want in this world.
So, I'll leave you with this final, absolutely vital question. Will you let the constant ping-pings of digital distractions dictate your routines and steal your potential? Or will you set massive goals, conquer your own self, and do the hard work whether you like it or not? The choice is entirely yours. Start building that discipline today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time.